Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with halachot according to the Pirkei Avot, Perek Gimel Mishnah Yudaled, and we're going to be speaking about Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem. Look how important and look how precious it is a human being that he was created in the image and the form of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And even though we're going to mention halacha now, I don't think that a lot of people will actually practice it halacha l'maaseh, but it's at least in order for us to understand, right, where it comes from. He says over here, I don't know if you ever realize, a lot of people, they come and they ask, one second, why is it that there were a lot of tzaddikim, that they were very makpid, that you don't take pictures of them? Right? We all know the famous, whether it's going to be even the Chavetz Chaim, the majority of people had the wrong picture of the Chavetz Chaim. They had a picture of someone, and it was not the Chavetz Chaim. Only nowadays did it become much more, we're going to say exactly, they found out exactly what was his picture, and it had nothing to do with the original picture. Right? There's also many other stories with the Baba Sali and others as well, that they were very, very, very strict not to take pictures. I myself went to Eretz Yisrael, I remember, and we wanted to take a picture of the Shevet HaLevi, Rav Vosner. And I remember when somebody came, one of his shamashim, I didn't know it was a shamash, he came and he saw me taking a picture, he came to me and he goes to me, what are you doing? They're going to break the camera right away. And I didn't, what is the problem of taking a picture or having a picture of a human being? So now let's try to understand. It says over here as follows. It says, some people are very makpidim not to take pictures al pia Kabbalah. The reason why is mazik la nefesh. It's actually going to make a damage to the nefesh. Shalideze aluli tapes ruach tuma la tmuna, because then you could get ruach tum'ah coming on this picture, and it's brought down al pia divrei Zohar Kadosh chelek gimel dafresh samech vav amud bet. And that's what we explain in the explanation of our Mishnah, Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem. So this is actually based upon a Zohar HaKadosh. Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz, in the Yarot Devash, Chelek Aleph Drush Bet, Dibur Mechilu Meod Yesh, he brings down Al Pi Divrei HaZohar HaKadosh, this one that we just brought down. He says, Shebechol Diukan U'Diukan Yesh Ruach HaShorei Alav. On every single image you have ruach, you have something, a spirit, which is going to come onto it. And therefore, if somebody's going to come and look, right, even b'mar'ah, even if it's going to be he's looking in his own image, which means he's looking in the mirror, and there's no reason. We all know that technically, according to Shitat Shulchan Aruch, it's prohibited for a man to look in the mirror. The only question is women always look in mirrors, not men? Why do you think that every single thing they always have to have, right, the mirrors? The women always are doing that, not men. There's one place brought down in Shulchan Aruch that a man is allowed to look into a mirror. That was when he goes to the barber. Because when he goes to the barber, if he wasn't looking in the mirror, the barber could come and kill him. Imagine, he's got the knife, right? He's got all these things, and if he doesn't pay attention, the barber could come and kill him. So that was the place where it was written. Nowadays, because also men also look, so therefore you can't really say it's very, very asur anymore. However, though, this was actually what's brought down in Shulchan Aruch. But says Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz, he says if somebody's going to look in the mirror, it's also, he says, Ruach mitlabesh v'dukan adam, and it's going to be mazikalo b'moto v'gorem ra'a le'atzmo. It's going to cause him serious damage even after his death, and he says it causes himself bad things, and therefore a person should be careful not to have even in his own house different pictures. He says he's bringing all these different things, and if a person would be able to see everything that's going on, he would actually be afraid. So anyway, according to the halacha, you have a prohibition of actually drawing an image of a human being. The Shulchan Aruch in Siman Kuf Mem Aleph Siv Dalet says you're not allowed to make a tzurat adam buletet, which means, I remember this many times happens, what about a sculpture? You're going to say, listen, it's not avodah zarah, but you have a king, he's got a sculpture. Can you make a sculpture of yourself? So he says it's actually going to be asur, but if it's shoka'at mutar, if it doesn't stick out, as long as it's going to be a flat image, it's going to be permitted. And that's the psak of the Shach. But says the Taz over there in Yoreh De'ah, sheyesh lachshosh l'dat Ramban, we have to suspect to the Shita of the Ramban Nachmanides, that he'oser tziyur tzurat adam afilu b'shokat, that it's going to be prohibited even if you make a flat image of a human being. V'katav b'chokhmat adam, and the chokhmat adam brings down, ra'ui lachush lidvarav. It's fitting to actually be stringent according to his words, to suspect his words. So according to this, it comes out, okay, fine. If you're going to tell me now that you're not allowed to make an image, even if it's going to be flat, and it's not going to be sticking out, there's a machloket if it's going to be in tziyur dino keshokat or tziyur l'chulim mutar. What about maybe our pictures are 100% permitted? Why? They bring down, according to the Tosafot and the Mordechai, that a tziyur is mutar l'chuli alma, but it's not considered lo bolet v'lo b'shokea. It's not synced in, it's not engraved, but it's not also sticking out. So he comes and he brings down also a shelat yavetz, and then he brings down also other opinions as well. So okay, this is all to do with making an image or forming. What about pictures? When we're talking about an actual camera, like what we do nowadays, whether it's with your phone or whether it's going to be with a camera and you're taking a picture. So the Shut Shevet HaLevi brings down on Chelek Zayin Siman Kuf Lamed Daled. He has a doubt in it. He says because maybe we're going to say that the tzura, the image, was done on its own. And therefore, why? But you come and you take a picture and the image is done on its own. The Tshuvot V'Hanagot says, no, maybe we have to be machmir. Even though there are a lot of people that are mekilim, he says, and also maybe it's done through a grama, and so on and so forth. So at the end he just says, nara pashteh, that each one has their own custom, that it's not that simple. And the Shut Mishnah Lachot says, harotze la'achmir al atzmo bazeh, kadosh yamel lo. If you want to be strict upon this, so then they will tell you that you're actually being holy. So okay, fine. So it comes out, right before we come to the last halacha, right? It comes out that it's something very interesting. First of all, now you understand why there were certain tzaddikim that they never wanted pictures of them. Right? They never wanted them. There was a famous story of the Baba Sali that he went and he told people not to take pictures, and then the guy came and he started taking, and then afterwards the entire thing was empty. Right? The entire roll was fine of the pictures. In the olden days, he used to have a roll. Right? They used to come, they used to open it up. So he says every single picture was fine. Wherever there were the pictures of the Baba Sali, it was all empty. Right? I mean, it wasn't. Why? Because he didn't want the pictures. And many other stories also of great tzaddikim that they didn't want pictures of themselves. So, however, though, now you're understanding why. According to the Zohar HaKadosh and Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz and everything, it's actually a problem. Then you get into another question, 1 second. If you're already making a picture, you're making something, is it that it's only going to be a suit if it's sticking out, or even if it's going to be flat? And that's also a machloket. And then we said, okay, fine, what about the pictures nowadays with cameras or with the phones? That's also going to be a machloket, as you see. But now the last question, which is going to be very interesting, is, okay, fine, but can I take a picture even if you don't want? Right? For example, you come and you say, you know what, I want to be a mekubal, I don't want any pictures. Can I come and against your will, can I take pictures of you or not? So he says, Danu poskim, and are you allowed to or not? But maybe it's considered hezek sheno nikar. Maybe it's considered a damage that's not recognizable. I didn't really do anything to you. What? I took a picture. Okay, chazak u'baruch. You're right. Is there going to be something or whatever it is that's going to happen? I don't know. But you can't even notice any type of damage when I'm taking the picture. So he comes and he says, the Shut Shalmat Chaim of Rav Yosef Chaim Zannenfeld, he comes and he says, En adam yachol le'esor al achel le'tzayro le'tzalmo she'en adam oser davar she'eno birshuto. He comes and he says, I cannot prohibit anybody to stop taking a picture of me because it's not in my reshut. I'm right now, I'm walking in public. I am right now in a reshut rabim, I'm in a public domain. So if somebody's going to take a picture, I cannot stop that. Nobody could really stop that. The exact same thing is brought down in the Shut B'Tzelach Chochmah. However, though, the Shut Mishnah Lachot says that it's going to be asur for two different reasons. Number one, because of Pir Kabbalah, it is causing damage. And number two, also, it's an isur of gezel if I'm going to come and I'm going to sell your picture. So obviously that depends if you're that famous that people are going to start coming and selling your picture. If they're not going to sell it, so then that reason just went down the drain. However, though, you actually see coming out that look what it is, how the different rabbis took upon themselves something which is so simple of even taking a picture. Again, I repeat, I don't think this is going to be halacha l'maaseh, because I think the majority of us will still continue taking pictures and being in pictures, right? However, though, we just wanted to just understand the tip of the iceberg. Why was it? Why certain tzaddikim were very, very makpidim not to take pictures or not to do all these things? Now we understand a little bit, the tip of the iceberg of what it means, why exactly they were so stringent in these halachot.